Welcome back to the channel, guys. I got a special treat for you today. It's my homemade dirt bike. I'm going to give you a little walk around and show you what it looks like and give you some specifics on exactly what's going on. So don't miss. Stay tuned. Well, I guess I was wrong. I guess it's a 20 by 7 by 8. A little taller. Okay, even better. It's a little windy today, so sorry about that. But check it out. I call it the Dune bikey. The Dune bikey 1. Because upon building it, I had other ideas. After writing, getting it to function as it should, and all that fun stuff. So I had some ideas on how to improve it. So first off, this whole front fork system is off of a Yamaha motorcycle. Not sure what it is, honestly, because I got it from the junkyard. Scrap yard, rather. But I got it from the scrap yard and brought it home. Started to try to do some research on it and found out part of the frame number has been removed. It's literally been ground off right up here, or it would have went from here up. Well, they ground it off and repainted back over it. So I'm not sure exactly what it is. So there was no restoring it. So I had the idea, since I wanted to build a dirt bike. I wanted a dirt bike. So from where I'm at, you can't find stuff like that. Everybody thinks their stuff is worth its weight in gold. So I improvised. So let's start with the next piece. So we have the Yamaha motorcycle. It was actually a sport bike. So the handlebars were, the grips were literally right here, under here. So I switched all that up to get more height, more clearance in the shock tubes. Next up, we took and bobbed the frame down here. There, actually. So bobbed it there and then bobbed it up here. Actually went through a couple different cycles on what I was going to do, but I started building a reverse trike and it ended up turning into this, because I had a TRX 90 frame with a motor, and that's this part here, goes down, holds the motor. It all had to be adapted to fit this because of clutch clearance issues. Right there you can see the clutch cable. Well, I had to rebuild the motor mount so it didn't have the spacer in between so that the clutch could actually be pulled. So this was a TRX 90 frame. I bobbed it off there, bang and bang, and then I took it apart back here. I cut the original control arm that held the rear axle right here. You can see where I cut it and welded it back together on that. So these are 2 pieces of galvanized conduit, schedule 40 conduit. It's 3/8 of an inch thick. No, it's 1/4 inch. 1/8 inch thick by 1 1/8 inch round. This was the front forks off of a 1982 Kawasaki KLT 200 trike. The motor was blown up. I only got parts to it. It was salvaged junk that I got from some guy, traded some junk for it. This is a rear factory tire off of a Suzuki LT80 2-stroke single-speed CVT kids 4-wheeler. This is a wheelbarrow rim, an 8-inch 400-pound capacity wheelbarrow rim. I bored it out to fit the 3-wheeler's axle through there so that I have spacers, the bearings, the axle to attach it. Now, unfortunately, there is no adjustment. I had a tensioner on here, but it turned out it was hecking the chain up a lot more than it was actually doing good. Because down here on the underside of this frame, you can see, maybe you can see, yeah, you can see a little bit. Okay, adjust right there. Kind of see up there where the chain hecked up the frame tube a little bit, but it's really thick, so I'm not concerned with that. Probably gonna end up putting in some type of guides so I can tension the chain. I've never actually had it pop off, even with it being this loose. This is a 420. This is a sprocket off of, it's off my DB21, my Apollo DB21. It survived the wreck, but I got hurt, so I scrapped the thing, decided I needed a bigger bike. I still have the frame. Frame ended up over there on that tiny guy. I'll show it eventually. It's kind of cool, but it needs some components. Here's the front end off of the TRX 90 that I used to build the main component to hold the frame. The problem with this, I was going to restore it, but it's pretty hecked up in there. The bushings is pretty bad. So there's my clone frame for my other Apollo DB21. That I'm basically going to use as a copy for building my next dirt bike, because I want to make it bigger tires. Okay, so this swing arm system is pretty much homemade, except where it attaches right here. I ended up actually having to cut this off, as you can see right there in the welds. I ended up having to cut it off from where it was attached to the TRX because it was in the wrong location, and I had to move it down so that it could pivot this properly and line the rear tire up. This is a rear brake caliper off of, it's hydraulic, the disc yeah, you're seeing that. Chinese, buddy. It's off of a Kimco MXU 700i. I got it from a guy, worked on his kid's little ATVs and got it fixed. So then I got this completely destroyed 4-wheeler in the process, and there's the engine. Okay, so back to the bike. I actually couldn't use the original Kickstarter that came with this, the Piranha YX140. Couldn't use the original Kickstarter because it kept contacting the frame. No matter how much I ground it here and down here, it just kept wanting to catch, and it would get stuck down there, and sadness. So This is actually a Kickstarter off of, it was off the KLT 200 Kawasaki 3-wheeler. TRX frame. This is actually part of a tiny 4-wheeler. It was a Chinese-made Sunel, little 49cc 4-stroke, single-speed, CVT-driven, little kids, is like a Raptor clone, piece of junk wannabe. Anyway, so this is the seat holding mechanism off of it. This is one of the, this is like subs, like the subframing that goes on the seat connection back over the back of the 4-wheeler kind of went down a little bit on it. I took that because it had the shock mount for my shock here. This is a shock off of a DB21. It actually handles my weight pretty well. This is off of the TRX 90. That's actually the front cowl. You see it says Honda. False advertising. This doesn't have Honda. Honda's garbage. Sorry for all you Honda lovers out there, but in my experience, these Chinese motors they're more torquey. They rev higher without having any problems. They consume less oil, less fuel, and put down more torque to that rear tire. TRX 90 motor on this setup should have been able to push it around fine. It was okay. It was okay. This is literally lighter than an entire TRX put together. TRX 90, front to back. It couldn't throw it around like a TRX 90 can. So where are we next? This is a seat off of the Apollo DB1 or 21. This is the fuel tank off of it. There's a headlight for a Kenworth. It doesn't actually work because I hacked it all up. I didn't realize. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't go. I just laugh at myself. So I didn't put a rectifier in here, and I wired it straight up to my negative and positive, so that when I turned the switch on, it would turn the headlight on. The first time I actually used it, it ran for about 10 to 15 minutes, going up and down fluctuation. Didn't think about it. It's LED. Don't do that, because now the light doesn't work at all. I need to put a battery in here somewhere. Got plenty of room for it. I was also thinking about redesigning this thing, making it focus on just keeping the frame up here. But I don't have a front fender, because the front fender for this motorcycle picked up a rock. That wasn't a fun time. So we got the Piranha in here. And it scoots pretty good. So what else is there to say? Not a whole lot, other than that Piranha does not like mufflers. It revs up. It'll actually hit the rev limiter and stuff. It'll bounce off of it like it's supposed to. It doesn't cut out. Yeah, it does well. But it probably has a little bit to do with the orientation of the intake pipe and the fact that I decided, because of knowing how engines work, the shorter the ram you actually have from your venturi to your intake port does matter. Those Uni air filters are garbage. You put some oil on that thing, it'll actually catch more dirt, finer particles than those Uni air filters. So that's it. That's the sand bikey. This is a rear tire, rear brake only. I haven't gotten a front one set up because the original setup for this bike, this Yamaha, the front brake caliper and everything was ruined. Wouldn't hold liquid. You couldn't build any pressure, so I don't really need it anyway. I only need this guy. 20 by 7 by 8. It tears it up pretty good. I'll have to take you for a ride. So I'll get it started up. go for a little ride. Cold-blooded. I got no kickstand. Just tell me what you think. Let me know. Give me the thumbs up if you liked it. Tell me what I should do different. If you got any good suggestions. I mean, I'll consider them. But I mean, you know, whatever. I read the comments. Take it easy.